As I'm making this video, TikTok is dominating the news, not for its position as a social media platform, but because the Trump administration has put it in its crosshairs, threatening to ban TikTok unless it is sold by the Chinese company ByteDance to a very American company. I'm going to tell you exactly why what's happening with TikTok makes it all the more important to have a Nomad Capitalist business plan and be living the Nomad Capitalist lifestyle. Hey guys, I'm Andrew Henderson, and here at Nomad Capitalist, we help 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs and above legally reduce their taxes by going overseas, diversifying themselves, expanding their options, and protecting their families with second citizenship, and investing in new boom markets with lower taxes, fewer regulations, and more potential than those in the Western world. You can learn more at nomadcapitalist.com. And this video, I'm going to go a little bit off the cuff because this is some stuff that's been breaking lately. Every day the news is changing about what's happening with TikTok, but I'm going to step back from the exact news of whether TikTok is sold to Microsoft, TikTok is sold to Twitter, it gets banned from the US. Who knows what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks? But as I sit here right now, I want to talk about the bigger macro conversation, and that is this. Whether you like Donald Trump or not, and I don't go on and I don't talk about that because to me it's irrelevant. But whether you like Donald Trump or not, he has taken a very aggressive position on punishing companies in China, for example, and he's using TikTok as a way to do that. And the rhetoric has basically been, we don't want Chinese companies controlling our data. We need to basically use our negotiating might, use our position as a big consumer market to basically bully Chinese companies to selling them to our companies. And what happens when we do that? They sell at a fire sale price. Microsoft, Twitter, whomever else can get a discount. Trump even went so far as to say maybe the buyer in the US, the very American buyer, should pay the government a commission for beating the value of TikTok into the ground so that they can buy it at a discount. Here's the problem with that. I mean, the first problem is there are a lot more American companies in China than there are Chinese companies in the United States. You can just run the numbers on that. But what does that mean? It means that I can tell you that while I'm sure my business is not so interesting that it's going to get the premier of China or the president of the United States to talk about it, I can say that simply I'm happy not to be a U.S. citizen anymore, to where I and my business and my assets and my investments get sucked in to this latest pissing match that's going on between two great powers. Because what's going to happen when Trump says, we want a very American buyer to buy TikTok, it's going to be so incredible? What are they going to say in China? When are they going to say, well, you know what? Tit for tat. Your American companies have something here. We're going to take their businesses and we're going to beat them into the ground and make them sell it to a very Chinese buyer at a fire sale price. And it can't be good for either side. So no one knows exactly what's going to happen, but can't you just see that as a possibility? Can't you see China or other countries around the world retaliating against the US and against this kind of policy by saying, all right, let's do it to your people? And so from my perspective, if you're running a business, it doesn't have to be at the level of TikTok where it makes international news. But this is something where you could see Chinese companies say, all right, or Chinese government say, we're going to impose a tax on U.S. companies who are here, or we're going to make it more difficult if you're a U.S. company. And they could take a page from the playbook of Western governments like the U.S. where they say, well, even if you incorporate in China, let's look at the ultimate beneficial owner. Let's look at the UBO. Is it an American company? Is it an American person? And we're going to penalize those people who come and invest in our country. We're going to make it difficult for them. We're going to take their stuff. And so, quite frankly, if I can go and do business as a St. Lucian, or as an Armenian, or as a Grenadian, or as a Brazilian even, whatever it may be, heck, even a Lithuanian citizen, something in the EU, anything that's lower on the radar, I think is going to be a great asset to have. If I'm a citizen of that country and I can go around the world doing business and banking and making my investments as a citizen of that country, because I do think if you see this kind of stuff continue, it's going to become disadvantageous for people who have big name passports. US, China, Russia, maybe even countries like Israel, Turkey, these could be places that are going to have some problems as they all go and start fighting against each other. If you are a St. Lucian, you may be able to escape that fray. Now, it's already easy to open a bank account around the world as a St. Lucian. It's already easier to buy crypto or make certain investments into crypto as a St. Lucian than it is as an American, for example, or as a Chinese citizen. And I think that there will be other untold benefits. I made a video recently where I talked about what I tell my friends, what I tell my family about why to get a second citizenship. And I mentioned an example of my own family where I said, listen, you're a citizen of Russia, get another passport that's off the radar. Let me help you, go get these other couple of passports so that if anything ever happens with Russia and they become in the crosshairs of some other country, you can simply, keep moving as a citizen of Armenia or of St. Lucia. I think that's something that every entrepreneur should be considering, because you're going to see these high-profile countries get themselves into some trouble, get their citizens into trouble. It could also impact travel. Remember a couple of years ago when Turkey and the U.S. had a spat over a number of different issues, and they basically closed down visa processing for people. And I remember I was in Turkey around that time. I was there for about a week, and I had some Americans who were going to be also coming about the same time that I was, and they had to change their whole travel plans because no longer could they get into the country because they were basically persona non grata, American passport not accepted. And so it's not unheard of to see more of that. Meanwhile, Tier B passports, even some Tier C passports, as we call them, have increased their visa-free travel. These countries are opening up to each other. The Caribbean Citizenship by Investment programs, for example, have consistently built up their visa-free travel privileges. They're pretty darn good passports these days. Countries like Mexico, even Russia, have gone out and gotten pretty good visa-free travel documents. Serbia was, a couple of years ago, the fastest growing country in terms of adding visa-free countries that their citizens can visit. Pretty darn good passport, Serbian passport. And so if I can get one of those, and no one's really too worried about the Serbians, maybe they're worried about the Serbians in one other country or two other countries. Okay, every country's going to have a beef with someone, but on a global level, on the places where I want to do business, in the big domestic markets, I think flying under the radar in terms of my identity is going to be an asset to have going forward. And I might go out, if I'm an entrepreneur, and get one of these lesser known passports, whether it's by investment, whether I qualify for it by ancestry. I can become Irish, I can become Lithuanian, I can become Slovak, whatever it may be, through my family tree. Maybe I'm going to get a paper residence where I go and get a residence permit in the country, spend a little bit of time there, come back and collect my passport in 3, 5, 7 years. I would be looking at doing something like that as diversification against being American, Chinese, Russian, British. I think those passports could face some issues for business owners in the years to come. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. How can Nomad Capitalist help you? 4 ways. Number 1, subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell to make sure you get our new video every day. Number 2, get a copy of Nomad Capitalist, the book. You'll learn a lot of my personal experiences over a dozen years of studying this stuff, as well as exactly some of the strategies that you can use to build your Nomad Capitalist plan. Number 3, if you're not sure where to start, but you want to come and learn from my team and I, you want to come and mingle with like-minded people, learn more about our live conference, Nomad Capitalist Live. It's coming up soon. And number 4, if you want some help right now because you've got a burning issue, you need something solved, you want to lower your taxes, get a second passport, or build the Nomad Capitalist lifestyle of your dreams, go to nomadcapitalist.com and click on Become a Client.